Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for your time. In terms of the research and information that was feeding into this draft white paper, policy paper on the rail infrastructure in the country, and from what CSR, the work that you've been doing at CSRR, how bad is the situation of our rail infrastructure? Just an overriding question first.
All right. Good afternoon, Braden. I think one number that would capture it all is that PRASA has got installed capacity of about 10 million passenger trips a week, and last year they were doing about 3% of that installed capacity. So it is very bad.
You've got such a huge capacity, but you're only delivering a minor part. 3% is nothing. The key contributing factors, what are they?
Well, this thing has been, the deterioration of the infrastructure and services has been ongoing for a number of years. If you look at the Portfolio Committee on Transport, the minutes of that Portfolio Committee since the 90s, Metro Rail at the time, Transnet have been talking about these issues that we need to rebuild, we need to refurbish. It's not something that just happened. So it's been years in the making. So part of it is loss of the technology, aging infrastructure, loss of skills. The costs have crippled the operational costs have crippled the Metro Rail, for example. I mean, at some stage the staff costs were over 60% of the total operating costs, and they had very little to use for things that directly are supposed to be used for delivering of services. So it's a number of things. But I think the entities do know what needs to be done. I think if you look at the plans that they have, they know what needs to be done. It's just that when it comes to the actual implementation, they seem to be hamstrung.
What's causing that, in your view, in your research? What are you seeing? What would lead them not being able to implement their plans? Within the entities, like PRASA, the technical capacity in the engineering domain has reduced quite significantly. So you need to build that. The project management capacity has also been decimated. So the skills need to be rebuilt. But what is concerning, I think, is the procurement. What we looked at when we're interacting with the entities. Our procurement systems are not really fit for purpose. If you look at what these procurement committees have to go through to approve simple things. A lot of the officials would say, I'd rather not do this rather than to, be entangled into a whole lot of inquiries. So a lot of these officials who participate in procurement committees don't want to, readily participate in procurement because of the repercussions, later on. And a lot of these entities, PRASA, for example, is entangled in historical issues, court cases. Every piece of procurement is essentially entangled in procurement, be it, the locomotives, be it the communication systems, and other things that are critical to delivering services. So very briefly, in less than a minute, Dr. Mokonyama, what would you have to give for the rail system, the rail network, which is important for our economic activity, to get back on track, so to speak? Well, we need to be clear on the targets. Certainly, we need to know what we're chasing and be able to have a proper plan.
for that. We are a country with a lot of engineering, capacity. We need to use that. We were able to deliver the 2010, World Cup infrastructure in a very short, space of time. We can do that. Transnet has got about 9,000, engineers in the Transnet engineering, entity. Those can be deployed to help the likes of PRASA. PRASA doesn't have to be on its own. We need to use our resources, optimally. But then, very important, accountability. Very important. PRASA in the past has been able to recover between 1994 and 2008 when there was an agent relationship between Transnet and Metro Rail or SARCC, South African Rail Commuter Corporation. So if we separate the accounting authority from the operator, so essentially the operator needs to be separated from the owner of the infrastructure, then we can maximize, on accountability. Something that I see the City of Cape Town wanting to go for.
Okay, thank you very much for your insights and some input with suggested ways how we can get South Africa's rail back on track. That's Dr. Mathetha Mokonyama from the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.